Okay, I'm back on Snapchat. I haven't been using Snapchat for, I don't know, at least a month because I was having trouble downloading my story every day, but the functionality is restored. I've tried using Instagram stories. It just doesn't have the same feel for some reason. I don't know whether it's familiarity, but I'm back to narrating my work. November was like this crazy busy month for me. I announced a new partnership with a UK-based organisation called Towards Maturity. I'm sure I'll talk more about that partnership as I go through and keep narrating my work. I ran 2 webinars. I had 2 trips to Sydney, one with like 2 events, half a day with a client, several meetings. And what was the other one for? Oh, the other one was for the AITD Industry Award dinners. So I ended up really exhausted by the end of November, and I would have struggled to narrate my work at that point in time anyway because I was just so hectic. So as the new year closes, 2 things I've been doing is my kind of look back and look forward. A little bit about the look forward. I've set up my 12-month planner. I actually started it at the start of November. So I've got the year at a glance on my board, but one thing I like that I've done is I've themed the quarters to help me with providing a focus for my kind of profile, promotion and marketing activities. Theming is something that I picked up from a fellow named Colin Boyd that I did a stack of work with on improving my productivity practices probably about 4 years ago, and he themes on different scales. He themes on quarter, and I think he themes on day as well. So for instance, Monday might be, I don't know, product development day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday might be delivery day, or one of them might be business development day. One of them might be admin day, and it's just a way of improving efficiency and focus. I have tried theming by days and I find I quickly fall out of the routine, but I do like the monthly theming, and also some people do like annual like word of the year, just a word to help guide and focus their efforts and energies during the year. Not sure I'll do that next year. At a weekly level, I put together priorities organised into different buckets at the start of each week. Never get through them all, but it's better getting through 75 to 80% than none at all. So this morning I'm working on a video, or what I learned video. I do one of these every month at the end of the month. I do it firstly for the sake of my own learning, to reflect on 3 key things I've learned during the month, but I also do it as a form of role modelling. I strongly believe that both learning and development professionals and business leaders need to role model continuous learning to encourage others to do it and to make it okay. And reflecting and sharing publicly what you're learning is one way of doing that.
I do this as a way of encouraging others to reflect on their own learning and recognise that we all learn in a...
So this is a footage from last week. You can see I was dressed up. I took the opportunity of the fact that I'd gone into town for a meeting, looked a little bit nicer, to actually shoot this video. I try not to make it too much extra effort to make the video. I struggle with this because I want it to look good, but I also want to role model that it's okay just to be quite natural and that you don't have to have high production values with video. I also try to get it short, and I find if I do my kind of more professional setup with the tripod, the light, where I'm dressed up, I tend to talk for longer than if I just pick up a phone like this and talk into the phone. Man, this bit I shot
now, for anyone who
3 times.
If you're a learning professional, you're probably going to be aware of this.
I don't script these videos. I know I pick the 3 things I'm going to talk about, and then I just talk off the top of my head. Sometimes I have to redo it, and I just leave the camera rolling and simply start again. I create a pause, really important for editing. If you think you're going to have to edit something out when you're doing video or audio recording, create a pause to create a cleaner editing break. And then I gather my thoughts and move on. So now I've got like 7 minutes of footage, but I reckon 90 seconds to 2 minutes of it is repeated. So I should be able to edit that back quite nicely. One of the webinars I ran in November was about the transformation curve, or the progression of maturity for learning and development as we move towards establishing learning organisations in the organisations we work with. And all this was reported in the last annual report from Towards Maturity, the Transformation Curve. So I just took a little bit of supplementary footage where I shared a little bit from the slide pack we used for the webinar to pop into my What I Learned video. So now it's on to editing the 2 pieces of video that I have. So one of the things I'm noticing as I'm editing this is that the volume, which is indicated by this waveform here, the volume between the 2 lots of clips was actually quite different. The clip I took today on my screen was a lot higher volume than the footage I took last week. So I've been adjusting that. You can actually pull down a little audio button and you can use this slider to move a section of the audio, to move the volume up and down. I'm trying to get that right. I've never done that before, so that's quite useful to make it easier for people to listen to it. Alright, time to add a little thumbnail and title page. I make this on my phone using an app called Phonto, and I've just saved it as a picture. I put a little background on it because my photo was the wrong orientation for the video. So I've just dropped that into iMovie right up the front, and that's the little intro to my video. So I've loaded it to YouTube unlisted, which means it's not accessible to anyone who doesn't yet have the URL. Because it's a bit longer, it's 6 minutes 52 seconds, I'd like a transcript for this. So I use an online transcription service called Rev. I've pulled up my account and I'm going to place a new order. So it's as simple as popping the URL for the video here and saying add to place the order. I'm finished. And that's just going to cost me $7, which I think is pretty inexpensive. And there we go. In 41 minutes I had my transcript back, ready to download and use. Well, that's pretty good. I'm going to leave it at that for today. I have been getting on with a couple of other projects. I've got 2 capability assessments underway today. I'll work out loud about those later this week. But I've had to do a bit of rescheduling and preparation for a showcase with one of the managers of the team I've been working with later in the week.